Hello, hello, happy Monday.
Good morning.
We're just being silly over here.
One of us thought we were live, the other knew we weren't. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Hi, Christina.
We are just waiting. Our person that's going live with us just asked us a question.
Good morning.
There she is.
We have Miss Danielle Ray joining us today.
Oops.
We have Miss Danielle Ray joining us again. Miss Leanna should be coming on too.
So, I just put that up. Sometimes I like to surprise you.
It's a silly morning.
And-
Instead of fighting some like computer energy, this Monday
Oh.
is silly.
Yeah, right. You come in, girl. Get your butt over here.
She might need another. We brought her in, but she might need a one.
Sure. It's for life.
Huh.
Why does she sound?
You're in South Carolina. You fancy pants.
How do we get on? So
Um,
Danielle Ray, there's a little probably notification unable to join. Maybe you need an update, Danielle.
I can picture what she's doing right now. She's calling on Archangel Michael.
Okay. All right. Good morning. I'm always here. I was waiting at the computer. Hello. Apparently my computer doesn't like to participate, so I have to use my phone. This happened a few times. Good morning.
Instagram is a mobile app. It is not a desktop app.
Yeah,
Like
you're right.
at all.
I know, but I like to feel bigger. Like
You're a big girl. You are huge.
I knew you were going to say that. I just knew it. Okay. All right. So,
Hi, Blake. Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
Blaker owns Don Quixote, my favorite place in the universe.
What about it?
He owns Don Quixote, which is, as anybody who knows me knows, that's my first home.
Amazing place, and I love Manuel.
Yes, Manny and Abby and Jessica and everybody. And tequila.
So, Miss Danielle Ray, how are you this morning?
I am well. How are all of you this morning?
We said we feel silly. We felt silly, all three of us, as we came on.
Oh yeah. I want to play. I just make faces at each other.
You do? Oh. I felt that a little this morning. I was like, I could use a good laugh, but I don't feel silly. I don't know why. I feel kind of
You seem
serious.
you seem very grounded.
Well, I walked, I walk. Sometimes the dog walks me. We walked each other today. That was, oh, and she's here. I can't believe it. So she insisted on coming in and spending the morning with us. So I allowed her. Our animals are just so good for us, aren't they? Yeah. Can I say something about our animals?
Yes.
Okay, so if you don't know me, I'm a light worker, I'm a Reiki master, I'm an intuitive. So I'll just shout that out there so I don't sound so wacky. Our animals need our support. So especially when we're going through things or things are going on, even outside of where our animals may be, they're still picking up on it because they're, connected to us and to our energy. And animals are also very natural healers. So a great tip, look, I have 2 sizes available to me today, of selenite sticks. And selenite not only clears your energy, and you can use it just like this to scan your energetic field right over your chakras and clear your own energy, but it really helps your animals. So you can calm your animals, cats, dogs, any animal, really. Horses, cows, I live in the country now. So whatever you feel. But my dog loves to have a selenite comb and cleanses her energy. I also Reiki her. She's very spoiled. But
No,
I sometimes
I have
yeah, go ahead.
No, but so all right, so my dog, which is interesting because I don't consider myself to be a nervous Nelly, so I don't think she's picking up on my energy. I think she's just neurotic. But like, but I have some selenite, so I'm going to try to put it over her because she's a very anxious, nervous, scared dog. She's a rescue.
Well, right, if you say so. So I'm just being me today. I'm gonna coach up all you guys. So watch your words with me this morning. Our words are so important. The energy behind our words are so important. So if that were me, my dog is a nervous Nelly and absorbs things. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Up until now, and I am finding all of the right tools I need to keep her grounded and safe and cleansed, right, and healthy. So, you saw my funny face. I did that on purpose when you were like, "It's not my energy." Well, it doesn't matter. You could hear a story and have an emotional reaction to that. And then your animal is absorbing it because they love you and they're natural healers, right? Or you can have a sickness or a disease. I've heard many stories on how cancers have been healed, and then my cat has cancer. Cats are exceptionally tapped in, and then animals, take it on. So it's important to clear our energy. And yes, your dog's a rescue. I get that too. It took me like 7 days to clear my dog and settle her in when I got her, But also, if you tend to be an anxious person and you're watching this and you wonder why you have anxious animals, right? Or they're afraid or they're this. So just like you support yourself, support them. But often our animals are a mirror image of us as well, right? And what we need. I always know what I need based on where my dog is. And I always know what my family's going through based on what my dog is. Someone's having a hard day. I know because the dog is nowhere near me. She's with them. Right? And, that's just empathic in general, right? Our animals can be empathic as well. I just went dark. Okay, here I am. So so cleanse your animals, cleanse yourself. That's a way to cleanse yourself also is carrying selenite. Not the best way to ground because selenite is an upstone, so it helps us to tap into our meditative state and our higher connection. So a better stone for keeping yourself protected and grounded is like tourmaline or shungite. You can put those in your dog as well. And if your dog doesn't like to be, or your animal, not just dogs, doesn't like to be combed, you could put it under their bed. When my pup was little, I actually sewed it. Leave it to me. I sewed it into the bed. I cut a hole in the bed and I sewed it right into the bed because she was very anxious at the time as well. So what are we talking about today, ladies? Hi, Amanda. Oh, I saw a hi over there. Look, I'm learning. Tammy, I think too. Hi, good morning.
Well, yeah, Tammy. Tammy, Amanda, Blake, anybody want to join live for Danielle's intuition to be shared?
Oh, are we doing intuition this morning? Yeah.
Where you feel
Whatever
led.
you're feeling led to.
I'm feeling led to everything. You know me. See, this is why I like the bigger camera thing because now I can't even see my face. So I don't know if I'm making silly faces. I like to watch that, because now I have the reading going. Yeah, so let's talk about, can I talk about you, Cynthia, since you messaged me this morning? So, because I'm feeling it right now. So I'm feeling very warm. And it's not because I'm hot. It's because Archangel Michael is all around me. I'm very much into my angels and their messages. And Cynthia said that to me as well this morning. She said, oh, I got so heated up. I'm not really sure what she was talking about, but I said, well, that's Archangel Michael because that's, what I felt. And Archangel Michael comes to us. Whew, see how grounded I'm getting from just, speaking about the right thing. Archangel Michael comes to us when we need protection, when we're feeling anxious. We can even need protection from our own thoughts, Doesn't that make sense? We can even need protection from our own resistance. So we can kind of call that out, spot that out, and ask for what we need from Archangel Michael. But just call on him when you're feeling that you need to protect your energy. Of course, he is here to protect our energy. He's also the angel of the light, angel of those who want to bring the light. And I'm hoping if you're watching this call, everybody on it wants to bring the light, right? So he is the angel of light workers. He is here to help bring the light. So often if we feel that, fiery energy, that is Archangel Michael reminding us that he's here for us, but also kind of check in. Like, are you safe in your thoughts? Are you safe in your environment? Are you safe in your words? Are you safe in what's happening around you? And so you can sometimes describe it, although I have been describing it like this since I'm like 16 years old. Now it might shortly, I may not be able to describe it like this anymore, but like a hot flash, right? So it's not a hot flash, but it would, when I was 16, I could joke around and say, oh, I feel like I'm having a hot flash. That is what it feels like. I still don't know though yet, but yeah. So working with Archangel Michael can really help us to just clear our fears, to help us to transition whatever we may be going through. But if you feel that fire heat, just kind of like check in with yourself, maybe shield up, cut cords, clear your energy. Just ask that he use his sword of light to kind of cleanse over you, wash away what does not serve. And what does not serve can be old beliefs, fears, even your present thinking. Right? Oh, I'm going to roll into something else. So if you don't know what is sabotaging you or making you feel stuck or having you be in a resistance space, journal about it, right? And so I'm like a one-statement journaler in the sense that I choose to release and then I dump, or I choose to see and then I dump. Usually works for me. Past few weeks, I'm done with some sort of energy. I don't really know what is. And so what do? I have some energy work done, because energy work always moves and brings to our attention what we need to clear. So then when I was journaling yesterday, I really love this, so I'll share. I started to ask myself questions, right? What is it you want to see? What is it you want to be? What is the resistance to this once I started to like play it out? And it like kind of unfolded a very interesting story. So it wasn't about, necessarily past things. It was if you're stuck, ask yourself why. Ask yourself what it is you may need to clear. And you'll be really surprised, or what you need to heal, or what you need to release in your thinking. Because what happens is we often say, well, this is where I'm supposed to be. Or no, Cynthia, I'm a hairdresser. Or I'm going to do hair. Let go of that. I started to write down how many, like in my, I'm kind of like shifting a little bit of the things that I do and how that I do them. And so I started to write out a little bit of a plan. And I noticed that I was putting numbers on things. Oh, blah, 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 many clients, this many clients. And then I was like, what? Why do you have to have that many clients? What if it shows up differently this way? Or what if it's this way? So I just started crossing out my numbers, right? Because we don't realize, and even me who says that to everyone every day, do not put limits. Do not put, do not look at it as though it's already defined. You have to have openness. And so when you ask yourself questions, it helps you to uncover what needs to be looked at, cleared, let go of, or changed in your story, right? For the future. Make sense?
Yes, I want to share something. Makes complete sense, of course. Safety, I want to go back to that word with you. What I'm hearing you say, kind of like Leanna and I were discussing in April all the time, but power behind the thing, like what you're manifesting, realizing the power in you that you have already to back up the thing, rather than attachment to the thing. That's what came to me when you were speaking about, your own experience, like putting it out there, but don't be so attached to, the number or leave some room.
Right. What does that have to do with safety? Where does safety come in?
I don't know.
Oh, so you were asking me, what are you asking me? How does safety go into that?
I didn't really have, you just mentioned safety, and I think that's a powerful word, and I'm gonna just, if I may, it came up for Leanna as well today, so I thought
big time. Yeah, it was on my heart last night, and I still get to kind of dive into it and peel back the layers, but the concept of safety, safe versus comfortable, safety versus comfort. So it was just
Well,
kind of something that
I well, okay. Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about that for 1 second. But if you can remind me to go back to like manifest and future, if you can just remind me on that. But let me talk about comfort and safety for 1 minute. There's a few different layers to this. And I'd like to invite you to look at the way I manifest for 1 second. And by manifesting, that means like even living in this second, because I'm manifesting every second, every second, every second. So the way I live in the present, the way I live in my manifesting is that, and you know, sometimes we're all humans. Just I can screw myself.
Danielle, we can't hear you. Oh no.
folks, she's giving the winning lotto numbers right now. It figures. Hear us, Danielle? A free for all.
Why don't you leave?
Pop
And,
off,
yeah,
yeah.
there you
Yeah. There we go.
Aw, she
She'll
do.
come back.
Nope.
I can imagine she's yelling for Archangel Michael to come in.
Okay. I'm
Hi.
old school, 1980s. I just shut it off. Okay.
Emmy, anyone lip read?
Can you hear me now? Okay.
And you are silly today, just to let you know.
Ready?
Just joined the silly spot.
I'm sweating. I'm sweating.
That's Archangel Michael. That's the heat.
I know, because he's telling me, don't worry about it. You look like a fool on social media here. I'm stripping. Very good. Woo!
Yes.
Always a yoga teacher. Always a yoga teacher. All right. I got my layers.
Comfort.
Mondays.
Woo! All right. I just heard my dear friend Bill Blackford, who used to come to my live classes. I would say that in the middle of like teaching. Oh, I got to strip. And every time he would just lose it. Every time I said it. Comes to close. Okay. Manifesting. And I am silly. Okay. Oh, boy. If you can't laugh at yourself, the day is done. Manifesting. All right, girls. Come on now. Serious. When we manifest, we ask for things. We want to manifest from the energetic level, not for asking for things. But I may say, please bring me my next opportunity for my highest and greatest good of all beings involved. So I have so much faith in anything that I ask for, my next lease for my building, my next retreat, whatever I'm planning, it's always for the highest and greatest good of all beings. So if it doesn't happen, I trust that there was a reason. If it does happen and I have 5 people, I trust that there was a reason. If so 6 people can't go, I trust that there was a reason. So because I have the utmost faith in the universe and trust in the angels and having my back, and that doesn't mean that like we don't get flat tires or have accidents or things don't happen. It does, but it still can be for our highest and greatest good. You know, maybe you break your ankle in the car accident, but you meet the gorgeous doctor attending to you. I don't know. Miracles happen. You were asking for love. Universe had your back. Right? So we can't get, exactly. Did that put it in there for you? You can't define how you are going to get what you're asking for, what you're putting out into the universe. You want love? Be love. You want love? Emanate love. Know you're worthy of love, and it will find you. But don't dream about it being on the subway. You just may have a paper cut and, you know, have to go to the ER and meet the gorgeous doctor, right? So I think for me, that kind of comes with safe. I trust in the universe, therefore I feel what's coming in my face and in my space is safe, even if it's uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Can you say that again?
I feel that what's in my face and in my space is safe, even though it's uncomfortable. Right? Because when we're asking to be the best version of ourselves, or asking for flow, or asking for happiness and joy, or asking for love, and we're asking with our energy, right? Because remember that everything that you can't come from that. You got to come from what you're, wanting to put out, what you're wanting to get back. That's what it is. Right? So when you're transitioning into these new things, it's uncomfortable. So you have to find comfort in the uncomfortable in order to shift, in order to create new. You think that me shutting down, so remember my story real quick, 5 seconds. Well, a little bit longer than 5 seconds, but I was manifesting freedom before the pandemic, long before the pandemic. I was told by Spirit to start Zoom. In fact, in 19, I wrote, this year I'm going to, it was like the beginning of 19, this year I'm going to take steps towards moving towards Zoom. Oh, I was so uncomfortable. But Spirit told me to. I did 2 classes on Zoom in 2019. Kept telling everyone in my classes, Great Awakening's coming, prepare, prepare, prepare. And I just kept sourcing freedom. And what freedom looked like, I had no idea. I was envisioning me teaching my yoga teacher training for special needs all over the place. I was envisioning this, I was envisioning that. And then I said to Spirit, I like to ask questions. Am I doing something that I shouldn't be doing? And jokingly, or what's going on here? And I wasn't feeling stuck. I just was kind of asking for a little bit of guidance. And my husband had jokingly said a few nights before, wouldn't it be great if I could just be a Saturday night wedding singer? Because it would bring him joy, right? So we've got a good little chuckle out of it. I said, yeah, it'd be cool, like whatever. And got a great voice, but that's not what he's ever done, But I said, that'd be cool. So I was showering. So as I'm getting in the shower for where my best work happens, I asked Spirit this question, and he said, and I heard back, well, what if you're supposed to be the wife of a wedding singer? I said, exactly. Release expectations. Who knows what freedom looks like? So in that moment, I stopped, and I just envisioned everything that was freedom, like whatever that looks like, which looks like nothing. That's freedom. Like I could do whatever I want. That's freedom. Next thing I know, we're in the middle of a pandemic. I lovingly closed my studio doors and said, okay, I'm here to serve. And because I trust the universe has my back, I felt safe. Because I felt safe, I'll be honest, I doubled my business by the end of the week. Right? And I was like, whoa, like what? Okay. And so I served through the pandemic. I understood why, I did lots of things, service. And then the next thing I knew, it didn't reopen because I didn't feel it was safe to do the work that I do with masks for my students. So I stayed closed and I stayed working. And then the next thing I knew, I was moving to the country, right? Had I put an ounce of expectation when I was manifesting on that, I would not be where I was. Was that uncomfortable? Oh my gosh. I'm like a scheduled cancel control freak, and I've worked on that, but like in this, like I like to know what's happening. I like to feel safe, my own safety. I create it, and the universe pulled the carpet right out from under me. But I'm very happy where I am, and I'm celebrating freedom. We've spoken about that before. I'm learning what I thought I knew before, but I didn't, which is how to really live and enjoy spare time and enjoy like living, right? This life is to live, not to like hustle, bustle, like all of this franticness that we add to it. And if you enjoy that, great, but I was not enjoying that. So that was not part of my flow. So I now am feeling the uncomfortable in being in the freedom of what I asked for. Right? I'm used to having schools to go work in and studios to go open. I mean, I have clients to serve, but I have freedom. Oh, you want to see me at 4 a.m? Oh, you want to see me at, upside down on my head? Who cares? Right? Does that make sense? Right. So we have to practice feeling comfortable in the uncomfortable. It's the biggest lesson you'll ever teach yourself. I used to have a teacher in my teacher training, my first teacher training I ever took. He made us stand in Warrior Two. Do you know what Warrior Two is? For 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Oh, we would be sweating. And he would walk around the room and chant, find comfort in the uncomfortable. And I took that lesson with me my whole rest of my journey. So it's about finding comfort in the uncomfortable. Whether you're going through disease or you're going through transition or you're going through anything, have faith. Go back to your faith and go back to what's real. When people call me and they say, I'm scared, I'm fearful, I'm worried, what can you get from that energy? Nothing. You have to go back to faith and trust. And so even with disease, when I have clients that call me and they say, this is a diagnosis, I go, oh, that's wonderful. Now we know what needs to be healed. We can get out our Louise Hay book, You Can Heal Your Life, and look up the disease, see what the message is there. And then we can shift our focus to finding all of the right doctors and all of the right timing, all of the holistic medicine, all of the right methods, all of the right support, and trusting that it's going to come. And that's where you feel safe for the highest and greatest good of all beings. Acceptance without being defeated. Okay, that I say, was there more to that? So is everybody with me on that? On all of that? Acceptance without being defeated. Well, I'm not, comment back if you like. But why is it ever defeat?
Actually, would Tammy, do you want to hop on for a hot second? You can turn your camera off if you're not camera ready.
I'd like to understand that. I'd like to understand that better. But you know, while I'm waiting for her, let me just talk about that a little bit. Like, so just because it didn't go your way doesn't mean that it's, first of all, it probably means it wasn't right if you're holding the space for what is right. Like, so you got to kind of see where your own energy is. If you're so stuck on one thing, then yeah, it can be defeated. But if you're like with flow and knowing that everything happens as it should in divine timing and perfect order, then I wouldn't look at it as a defeat. I would look at it as, oh, it wasn't meant to be. What's next?
Amen.
Hi.
Hey.
Oh, I can't hear you. Hold on.
We can hear you.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I can barely hear you guys. I don't know why. Sorry, I'm on my spin bike. That's why I look like this.
I love
So,
that.
acceptance without defeat. I think defeat is a natural emotion. It's an easy feeling to go to before you truly accept that you don't have control over certain situations. I think when I say acceptance, I mean we cannot control how others act. We can't always control what the universe brings into our life. And instead of being defeated and kind of just cowering in the corner, accepting what's happening while still focusing on your desire and focusing on what you want in life, but not being defeated by that situation. Does that make sense?
Totally. But I'm going to take it a step further, if I may. So every situation, and I love that. You're right. You got to go like, yeah, okay, kind of nothing to do with me and everything to do with me at the same time. Because if something's in your space, if it's in your energetic field, it is here for you for some purpose. So even if a situation comes at you or a person comes at you with an attitude or whatever it is, whatever emotion it's bringing up in you, that's what you have to look at and say, well, this is what I'm clearly aligned with. So if it's bringing up defeat or if it's bringing up like hurt or anger or anything, and you can certainly look at it with acceptance because you should. Thank you for teaching me, right? Like, oh, I'm still feeling this way, so I have healing to do there, right? Does that make sense?
I can't hear you for some reason.
Can I talk louder or not?
I don't. Let me sign off. Maybe I'll be able to hear.
Y'all.
No, that's not it. That's not how you do it. No idea.
Usually,
Oh,
right there. You go.
Interesting. And the energy is much lighter than it was last week. So, but we are still in post retrograde.
Yes.
And the thing with post retrograde is if you didn't learn or look at what you needed to in retrograde, it's still coming at you.
She can hear now. Good.
And is she there? I don't see her though.
She's-
Where are you?
She's not going to join, but she can hear. So she
Oh, okay.
can share.
So do you want me to repeat that? So what I was saying, oh yes, okay. So read, Danielle. So what I was saying is that, yes, I love acceptance without defeat, but also look at whatever you're feeling like anyway about. You have to look at that. Like if something comes at you and you're not at neutral, right? Even if someone's screaming at you, someone could be screaming at you, and I've had those moments where I'm like, oh, they're just having a bad day. They're upset, especially, you know, if you're at this point in your life, you can, you know, kind of sometimes do that. I've had some practice. But then there's those times that same thing will come at you and I have an emotional reaction. Oh, do they not like me? Or, oh, you know, that made me feel so sad or whatever. That's on me.
Mhm.
So I have to look at that and say, well, why do I feel defeated? Or why do I feel unsafe? Or why do I feel betrayed? Or you know, unloved, whatever's coming up, because that's what still needs to be healed within you. You're right. You're not responsible for anybody else's behavior, but if you're part of what's going on, your energy is there for a reason. So if you're not at neutral, and if you are at neutral, then bravo, because this situation or circumstance came at you, so you could practice living in whatever it is that you're working on living in, right? So let me give you a positive example. You're asking for like to be loved and to be cared for and to see support showing up in your life.
Mhm.
But then your friend offers to buy you a cup of coffee and you say no. That's not receiving, right? So we're always getting opportunities to practice. So if you're, you know, if something's coming at you, it's so that you can have that experience.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yes, of course, like we don't have to take things personally, whatever's going on, but it's also, we're on the other end of it to grow us somehow as well. So we can always use situations, circumstances, experiences as an opportunity to grow ourselves. You didn't get that great job that you know, applied for and waited for and worked for 6 months. You put all this extra energy in, blah, 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 blah. And so you may feel defeated or disappointed, but don't let that settle too long, because what's better is coming. Like if you're asking universe for the highest and greatest good of all beings, why would you feel defeated if you didn't get the job? Maybe disappointed for a few minutes. Okay. But then have strong faith that what's better is coming so that it can arrive, because you had some sort of expectation. That's why it didn't come into fruition, or it wasn't really going to accommodate your needs. Maybe you can't work Saturday and they were going to end up asking you to work 2 Saturdays a month, even though it wasn't spoken about yet. So the universe had your back. So when we focus on how, like me, freedom, I couldn't define freedom. I literally saw myself getting on airplanes. Spirit's like, what are you doing? Meanwhile, right now, I'm not getting on an airplane. That's my choice. But, you know, so that wouldn't have been for my highest and greatest good. Correct? Yeah.
You know what comes up for me too is kind of the saying, like, as an opportunity and an inquiry, in place of why is this happening to me? Why is this happening for me?
Yep. Just like I have to go to work or I get to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, isn't that big Joel Osteen? The universe, it's happening for you. I say the universe, but he doesn't say universe, but it's happening for you. The greatest lesson you can ever teach yourself. And then ask yourself the questions. Why do I feel disappointed because of this? So another one. Okay. Dating, right? Right? Everybody, maybe, you know, well, not everybody, but you want to find like your soulmate, your person. You want to like have a nice, strong, like relationship, whatever. And this was with one of my people for a long time. She's like in her 30s now. She's still single. But as like the dating experience kept going on and she kept shifting and getting more clear on what she wanted and more clear, like healthy communication, trust, you know, someone who's not cheating, like all of these things, you're putting it out there. So then it got to the point that like, on hour 3, she would know that they were a cheater and be so disappointed. And I'd say, what the heck are you disappointed about? This is magical. The universe told you, on day 3 that he's on hour 3, he's a cheater versus date 30. If you don't want to be involved with a cheater, right? So as much as, I could say, so for me, it's like, thank you, not, oh.
It's victim to victor.
Right, but like I can totally see how you'd be disappointed. Oh, you thought he was nice. Oh, you thought he was cute. Oh, you thought he was this. But you have different expectations. So whether that be with a job or like-minded friends or your next hobby or, a significant other, whatever it is, put out what it is you're worthy of. And here's the bigger thing. Often we don't know what that is. So let's go back to what I said about journaling earlier. See what your own stuff is to keep clearing that stuff so you can bring in this happy, healthy relationship or a great job that's going to like inspire you or whatever it is. And, it doesn't even have to be a job. Like I kind of laughed at myself with my own stuff. I'm going, what's next? What am I doing here? What am I doing? And I'm doing plenty. I'm like, Danielle, you act like you don't have a full-time job. I do. But I'm so used to community and in fact creating that. So, a big thing too that kind of came to me is, well, it doesn't have to be work. Go volunteer. Go sit at the knitting. Go sit at the knitting place and, do there, whatever. But it doesn't have to be the way we think it should be. So surrender so that what's meant to come can come. But keep working on yourself so you can clear out your stuff and bring it. Right?
I have a little example of that comes up between me and my husband. And of course, right now I can't think of.
And she's coughing. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Everybody catch that? Because I watch these throat chakra, so she's got some resistance to whatever she's going to tell us. So go ahead.
So, and it's because it's uncomfortable, but
Ooh.
practice now with my husband, sometimes I'm looking to receive even something from him, and we'll be even in a message like communicating because we have very different hours, so sometimes that's just how it has to show up throughout the day. And like we will be going back and forth, and I'll find myself holding on to an expectation, and as soon as I pause and put the phone down, almost instantly he'll write back something that I needed from him that I didn't even know that I needed. And it was all because I took a moment without kind of throwing more expectations onto him. And that could look like anything. A lot of times it's me telling him to do something or I'm given, whatever.
Because we're constantly manifesting our life with every thought that we think. Right? And when we put expectations on things, it blocks what's supposed to come. Right? And I just want to say one more thing because of the throat chakra. So our throat chakra reminds us that to be our authentic self, to be our truth. So if you're asking for support and you're just, or noticing that tightness, or that's resistance, right? So you have to work on clearing how you're supported and how support shows up for you and that you're worthy of the support, because the people on the other side can't ever give you what you need if you don't feel worthy of it, whether that be a husband or a job or a boss, your children, whatever it is. Right? Good. Makes sense. Yeah.
It's interesting too, because you said, we're constantly manifesting. And I feel like when I hear the word manifesting, I tend to think of optimism, forwarding, all of those types of things. But I feel like there's also an opportunity to acknowledge that in manifesting, we could also be manifesting our shit and having that stick with us. I just think like it goes both ways.
Right.
If we're constantly manifesting, we have to be intentional about what we're manifesting, because it could either be serving and forwarding or less serving and maybe not forwarding.
Yes. And that's why we have to be present, because when you're present, you see where you're at. And we don't always want to be like manifesting like in the, I want this or I want that or this is my energy for that. Just be the energy that you want to create and manifest. And when you're in a funk, notice it, clear it, journal it, figure it out so you can go back to that higher vibration, because it doesn't matter what you're manifesting. You're always manifesting. So you know those times when you're walking around going, I feel sick, I'm so sad, I'm so worried. Well, cancel. Broadcast that. And did you see me just do that? Cancel. So that's actually how I talk.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I know, like, I do it like this, but if I'm saying something and I have to say it, I shoot it right back out there, because I'm not putting out into the universe what I don't want. Right? But there are plenty of times, like, well, less times, you know, in the last few decades, that I'm walking around in that, like, you know, with that nonsense. And you have to stop and check in and say, this is what I'm manifesting, more nonsense. This is what I'm manifesting, more unhealthy communication, or more of this, or, you know. So yeah, you always have to check in. Where am I now? And the more that you can practice being present, being in the moment, for lack of a better word, the more control or awareness you have over your life, right? And so the pause that I too began doing years ago, I in fact close my eyes. When I pause, it happens to come in handy since I close my eyes to do readings. But if people ask me something, sometimes I just pause and I check in with my physical feelings and I check in with my emotional state, and I no longer answer until I pause. Right? How often do we get ourselves into, and something, you know, I am a yes girl, but how often do we get ourselves into like an uncomfortable situation, or maybe where we're not feeling like emotionally safe because for whatever reason, and we say yes, and then we don't want to do something. So why do that to yourself, or even to the other person on the other side? Just pause, think about it. You know, I mean, when I was young, I can remember saying to people, oh, I have to check with my husband first. And I say when I was young, because then I guess like that kind of was like that. Like, I still do, but it was like the out, right? We don't really need someone else for the out. Just pause. I need to think about that. I need to see how that feels to me. And then make your decision. And then, or, you know, like Cynthia said before, if you take that pause, you go, where am I at in this? Am I in a fear-based energy where I'm going to attract what I don't want? Like, you know, Ryan's going to just end this conversation, give me nothing. And that's not on him. FYI, you know, or am I going to be in receipt of what I'm worthy of? And you don't have to know what you're worthy of, but you're worthy of all high vibration stuff, you know? Once I was practicing support, I literally in writing, said the support that I needed, and I got nothing back. And I burst out laughing because I could have cried, like, oh my gosh, this person is a horrible person. I could have gone on some rant, but I burst out laughing and said, well, Danielle, you're clearly not in alignment with being supported. Go work on it. As simple as that. So like, we're so quick to blame everybody else. Don't blame everybody else. Look at yourself, because when you're in vibrational alignment for being supported, you'll attract whatever that is. The right jobs, the right money, the right support, the right compliment, the right love, the right, you know, whatever. Yeah. But you know, I'm going to tell you this story. So my son needs a dentist appointment. He has some stuff going on that's very TMJ. It's very painful. He had an accident a few months back, and he was going a different route for healing. And I called the dentist, and so, you know, I'm in a small place here, so it's like January before I can get him an appointment. And I asked them, put me on a wait list, whatever. You ever have TMJ? Very painful. So, but if you ask the mother, which I, you know, keep that offering quiet when it's needed, it will come. But if you ask the mother, that's holding, fear, gripping, clutching. Very understandable for somebody who's going through life change in life. And we can work on healing that emotion. But in the meanwhile, he's going to, you know, go to the dentist. And so I couldn't get a sooner dentist appointment. So this morning, what did I do? I did not go into worry. I did not cry because I feel so bad for him. I wanted to. I literally asked for what I needed. Spirit, please send me to the right people. Help me find the right doctor, the right opportunity to get him in to an appointment. Should I call a different doctor? Please let me know what I should do. So I said, all right, let me get the insurance book out. Got the insurance book out. I can call the other doctor. Let me check with them once again. They said, oh, Ms. Bonfanti, we'll fit you in tomorrow, noon. The same one. I'm waiting until January. Oh, we should know in 5 minutes. They just called and said they may not be able to come tomorrow. Thank you. Why is that? Because I held the space that everything was happening for the highest and greatest good of all beings, and that I was getting him what he needs. And I didn't go into my fear mode. Make sense? Did you see Cynthia? I know. Did you see her? She was like...
No, I actually, it's funny how everything just like aligns, but I was listening to, I love Wayne Dyer, and I was listening to, April probably offered, because she offers a lot of books to me, but Excuses Be Gone this morning. And one thing that he brought up as an awesome question that I'm definitely going to implement is just simply, am I enjoying my life more, or am I worrying about my life more? Where and then like kind of sitting with anything that comes up within that, you know, for yourself.
Yeah, and even to simplify that more, love, fear, where's the energy? So like, you know, it's just that simple, like worry, angst, blame, shame, deceit, fear, you know, anger, that's here. Love, light, everything flowing into place, following my intuition, feeling happy, feeling in a joy state, being in flow. In flow, even in craziness, you can still be here, right? So that's, yeah, I love that question. And even simplify it more. Like, that's just the way I work. And you know, too, I have a love hand and a fear hand. And I'm always talking like this. Where does it align and fit in? Another good question is, does this feel good to me? That's it. Just keep like checking in with yourself. And that's the problem with humans. We're people pleasers, and we don't check in with ourselves. We just are programmed to believe that we have to do things certain ways. Go back to your truth. Go back to what feels good to you. Because in the end, you're the only one who matters. Right? No one's going, oh, how's Cynthia feeling today about this? Like, I mean, we all love each other, but you know what I mean.
Yes. So
we are our own responsibility.
And I don't get to expect people to know.
And that's like the biggest thing. You need something, ask. Like, you know, and even like we expect the way that things are supposed to look. We expect the way that things are supposed to turn out. How about just focus on the energy that you want? You want to go to, you know, sometimes I'll say weddings. Sometimes weddings or things like that, they stress people to no avail because it's like a lot, you know, like big environments maybe, or someone's giving me some hearts here, or maybe you're an empath and you're energy sensitive. That's a whole nother conversation. You can definitely heal that as well and find your tools. But whatever it is, so you want to focus on that and like go into the, it's going to be, you have to sit and listen to Great Aunt Mary for 4 hours, like whatever your freaking story is. Or can you just visualize yourself laughing? That's what I would do. Because then no matter what's happening, you know, I once was at a large function. I'm always at large functions that end up like in a small place. And I ended up like sitting with like an older man who kind of needed watching. But he was so inappropriate. And it was so hilarious that, I mean, it was wild. But he had some dementia. But it was so inappropriate and so funny that I laughed the whole entire evening. Who would have thought I would have ended up like babysitting this gentleman would have been so funny and fun for me. But it was, because I focused on just enjoying my evening. Okay? Yeah. Good. We want to pick a card. Who wants one? No one? Speak quick. I know they're on. Who said that? April?
Yeah.
April, you're so quiet. So I'm not going to pick a card. I was. April. So I'm just going to do my thing. So April, you have some, because she's like an advanced light work. I talked to her like this. So your hips are holding some like resistance to forward, especially the right side of the body, resistance to forward. So stop controlling, stop figuring it out, and just ask, show me. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. I just yesterday did a whole meditation on the beach.
Awesome.
With that same thing. So thank
So
you.
you get confirmation on what you need, but there is like a lodged trauma there.
Yeah.
So you get to push that through, right? This is going to get a little heavy. There's a piece to the clearing that is missing though. So if you meditate, you'll understand the missing piece that you don't know that is missing, that you can push out, right? But the missing part you understand because you kind of get that. What I'm saying there, that there's like something missing in your understanding to fully let go what's lodged, so you can give yourself permission to fully see it, so that you can fully move through it and clear it. Make sense? Yes?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Who's here? Anybody?
Are we in a space to welcome Amanda to the conversation?
Yeah, I knew someone was coming. Come on. Anyone who knew? Okay. Amanda, you coming?
We just invited her.
Okay.
Oh, she wasn't trying to come on.
Okay, well, I'm going to give her a little message anyway, whether she's here or not. So if you didn't just see that, you can rewind. Did everybody just see what I did with my physical? Right? So I am safe. It's safe for me to breathe in life. What I need is coming. I have goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You are safe. Uncomfortable, but safe. Okay? Okay. So this is all about Amanda, this is for you. It's all about the solar plex for you. The card is peace, beautiful dove here. I just love this. How much closer to God and spirit do we need to be? But it is about standing in your power. And that's also where our lungs are. You must stand in that. Okay? Your personal power, your empowerment. What's real? Wow. Love or fear? Constantly check in with ourselves. No matter what anybody's going through on this call, no matter what you're going through, whether you're listening now or later, we have to feel. We have to grieve. We have to feel. Let me say that again. We have to feel. So feel it. None of all of this spiritual stuff or energy work or clearing, all of this is about pushing it down. It's about letting it come up, healing, and allowing in what we need for our best life. Always check in with yourselves. You know, if you're one of those people who starts any sentence with worry, cross that word out, find a different word. Pay attention to your words. Right? You're welcome, Amanda. What else do we need today? Anybody else on there? I'm not paying attention.
Well, if there is anybody who is still with us that would like to have a card pulled for them and Danielle Ray's intuition kind of tap in, please either send us a request to join or leave a comment and we'll make an attempt to connect with you.
Maybe just give an overall, like, good tidings to all and all a good night kind of last minute overall message.
Yeah, so I really feel there is a message here for all of us. I feel pretty like overwhelmed with emotion all of a sudden and a little bit fear-based in what's coming up for me. I know I have 4 minutes. We are living in I don't like to say this because I don't even like to bring energy to it. So cancel. We're living in an uncertain time with a lot of fear-based energy everywhere. So really what I want to leave you with is you are a master manifestor. You are creating and experiencing your life with every word you speak, every thought you think. Choose to take in what you want. I don't listen to the news, but I know that every bit of news I need to hear finds me. Okay? I know that every bit of information I need to know finds me. Hurricane Sandy, $300 worth of food in the cart. And someone goes, "What are you buying all that food for? We're having a hurricane." I said, "Oh, we are? Thank you. I had no idea." Okay? But it says, but I live my life that way. So I invite you to live your life full of peace. Why add in things that don't serve you? Take yourself out of fear. Put yourself around like-minded people, like-minded conversations, good communities like this. Put your iPad on. Go listen to podcasts instead of the boob tube or some other like Instagram toxicity. Fill your Instagram, fill your Facebook with what serves you. You look, I don't see anybody's nonsense. All the people I follow or like, you know, are either groups or, you know, pages or people that inspire me. So I have a happy feed. Fill your life with what serves you. It's very important now more than ever. There is so much toxicity in our planet. There is so much going on more than ever before. You are responsible for your vibration. You are responsible for what you are putting out there. So I invite you to watch your words, watch your energy, watch your thoughts, and the people you're around. Right? Doesn't mean you can't be around toxic people, but bring a board game. Make yourselves laugh. What do you got to talk about 1942 all over again? No. Right? So we have the opportunity to change things. You don't have, you know, so bring your high vibration spin to things and keep your energy and thoughts aligned with what you want.
I feel like a fun call to action. I love what you said about creating your happy feed would be with whatever social media platforms you're on. If you are, and if you're here, you're on at least one, Instagram. Purge who no longer serves you and add what makes you feel good. And I feel like that's a great, even if the call to action is just one, you know, eliminating one unserving account.
Yeah.
And adding in one serving account and
yeah,
see what
and
that opens up.
And you know, you don't have to like block people. You could just like not see this for a while. So nobody knows you're, you know, not looking. Also another thing that I love that I do is on my phone, I have like a picture folder that I go like this, almost like a vision board. So you can just kind of like scroll through. So whatever favorite quotes you like or pictures that make you feel good, ways to raise your vibration without getting on social media or without having to call someone or do something. Because, you know, that I used to make, what did they call that in the old days? PowerPoints. I used to make PowerPoints.
In the old days.
And I used to have my tape, and I used to put it to music. So now with all these videos, you can make your own. But I used to put it to music, and the PowerPoint would like play all of my vision board. Yeah.
I every morning have my reminders because I have an iPhone, and it plays my affirmations every half hour from 6 to 11, I think. So I get a little, every half hour, I get an affirmation that pops up on my phone just to keep myself in that mind space versus a negative one.
Yeah. And people also do a ding on their phone, a chime to like remind them to take a breath, things like that. We can talk about breath work next time if you want.
Yeah, important.
Thank you, ladies. We're on time, right? 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We are living courageously with you all, and we look forward to another meeting with Miss Danielle Ray sometime in the future. So keep your eyes out to when she's with us again. And we also have a couple classes coming up in the next couple weeks every Monday evening. So look for those and keep living courageously, people. We love you.
Love you, ladies.
Bye. Thank you.